Chapter 8, Heaven Sent Talent 2. 4 months later, Director Kim Young-hoon smoothly reached the pinnacle realm. Chew, chew, chew. After consuming the yellow bamboo root I gave him, he sat cross-legged and began circulating his chi. Whoosh! As he did so, the phenomenon of 3 flowers gather at the summit occurred above his head, marking his attainment of peak expert status. Ha ha, the world looks completely different now. Your talent is truly remarkable, every time I see it. Originally, it would take Director Kim Young-hoon around 6 to 7 months to reach the peak. However, learning the Severing Mountain swordsmanship, a first-rate martial art from the beginning, seemed to lower the difficulty of reaching the peak. He achieved it 2 months earlier than I expected. Moreover, while practicing the Severing Mountain swordsmanship, he even developed a new martial art named Severing Vein Saber Method, modifying all the sword forms of the original method into saber techniques. Anyone would be astounded by his martial prowess. That's right, even I find myself quite extraordinary. I have something to give to you, Director. Admiring his incredible talent, I took out a book from my possession and handed it to him. Record of Transcending Cultivation and Exhausting Martial Arts. It was a martial art against cultivators, created by Director Kim Young-hoon in my past life after reaching 5 energies converging to the origin, dedicating his remaining life to it. I had reorganized it into book form during these 4 months he was training to reach the peak. I found this martial art book in a bookstore. The owner claimed it was an incredible martial arts manual, but I couldn't understand a single word. Thinking I was scammed, I came to you for advice. Let's see. I handed him the record of Transcending Cultivation and Exhausting Martial Arts. After a while, his eyes widened. I could feel him trembling. What is this? What kind of martial art is this? I don't know. Ah, I see. That makes sense. Director Kim Young-hoon pressed his head hard, explaining to me. This is a martial arts manual that can only be understood by those who have reached the peak, no, those who have attained 3 flowers gather at the summit beyond the pinnacle. It's terrifying. I never knew such a martial philosophy existed. Anyone who can master this art can surely become the greatest under the heavens. You've brought another incredible stroke of fate. Ha ha, I thought I was scammed because it sounded too fantastical. But about 3 flowers gather at the summit, isn't that the same level as the pinnacle realm? A martial arts manual that only those who have reached beyond the pinnacle can understand. Ah, seeing me reach the pinnacle realm must have confused you. But even I know I'm an exceptional case. There are stages in the peak, early, middle, and late. 3 flowers gather at the summit is a state that only those who have reached the late stage of the pinnacle realm can realize. I see. This was news to me. Oddly, even though I had risen to the position of chief strategist in the Woolen Alliance in my past life, I never had access to information above first class. According to martial standards, the levels of martial artists were classified as first, second, and third. Anyone who begins learning martial arts is considered third-rate. Those who have learned at least one martial technique or internal energy method and can utilize them in combat are early third-rate. Those who have learned both martial techniques and internal energy are mid-third-rate. Those who have mastered both and can use them simultaneously are late third-rate. Using both martial techniques and internal energy simultaneously is incredibly challenging. Mismanaging internal energy can lead to immense pain or mental derangement. There's no room for error. I remember it felt like splitting my head in 2 when I first learned martial arts. Those who overcome these difficulties and become skilled in martial arts are considered early second-rate. Those who can use both martial techniques and internal energy in combat without awkwardness are mid-second-rate. Those who can do so without conscious thought, having these abilities ingrained, are late second-rate. Over the past few months, I managed to reclaim the mid-second-rate prowess I had in my previous life. I'm about to reach late second-rate soon. Crossing the threshold of martial arts proficiency and achieving completion marks the first-rate stage. When martial techniques and internal energy become fully integrated into one's body, achieving freedom within martial arts, that's early first-rate. Reaching a level where the essence of martial arts is realized, refining chi usage and being able to project sword energy, is mid-first-rate. When one's martial prowess and intent fully merge, achieving the pinnacle of swordsmanship known as the unity of sword and body, shortening both the time to manifest and prepare sword energy, is referred to as the late first-rate. Such information, spanning from early third-rate to late first-rate, was all gathered in my past life when I served as a strategist in the Martial Alliance. However, information regarding the pinnacle realm was tightly guarded. Even Young Hoon, a close associate, would awkwardly smile and evade the question when I inquired. Is it because it's impossible to comprehend unless experienced? Even those who reached the extreme of late first-rate would occasionally hint at it, but no martial artist at the pinnacle realm ever disclosed detailed information about the pinnacle realm. By the way, Director Kim, could you possibly explain what the pinnacle realm is like? Curious, I asked Kim Young Hoon about the pinnacle realm, but he just awkwardly laughed, giving the same response as in my previous life. Sorry, but you wouldn't understand even if I told you. I'm not making fun of you. Having premature knowledge of the peak could lead to dangerous delusions and madness. The world we see is entirely different from yours. He apologized and shifted the conversation. Now that I've reached the peak, I think I'll go around challenging sects to gauge my skills. Will you join me? Sure, why not? A month later, Kim Young Hoon had taken down the signboards of every small and mid-sized martial arts school in Yonggyeol City. In my previous life, the capital, Sukyang, had 7 large factions, the 4 stars 3 demons. However, most cities had 1 or at most 2 large factions. Yonggyeol City had 1 large faction, Kia River Sect. Since Kim Young Hoon had already taken down the signboards of all the smaller schools, Kia River Sect was tense even before our challenge. It's an honor to meet the famous warrior Young. Arriving at Kia River Sect, the sect leader personally greeted us. 53 small schools, 32 mid-sized schools, 11 mid-sized sects, a total of 96 signboards taken by a grandmaster like you, it's an honor. I did not intend to challenge so many schools. Kim Young Hoon modestly spoke to the sect master. If there had been even one worthy opponent, a draw, or a defeat, I would have stopped. Not a single one was a match for you. Indeed, after reaching the peak with the Severing Vein Saber method and awakening his latent talent, Kim Young Hoon mastered record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. None of the 96 sects in Yonggyeol City could withstand even 3 moves from him. I hope the Kia River Sect will be different. Ha, surely. Our faction is filled with remarkable masters, fitting for Warrior Young's level. Following the sect leader, we headed to Kia River Sect's arena. The challenge was a 3-round match. 3 of Kia River Sect's best would face Kim Young Hoon, and if he defeated all 3, he'd take Kia River Sect's signboard. A daunting challenge format for Kim Young Hoon. Ha, no matter. Confidence filled Kim Young Hoon's eyes. With record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, I'm invincible. Since learning it, I've become an adult, and others mere toddlers. Why should I fear 3 toddlers coming at me? The 3-round challenge at Kia River Sect began. The first challenger was Kia River Sect's sect leader. I didn't expect you to come out first. Kia River Sect's sect leader, Mun Yi-aek, replied with a wry smile. No one among our elders or the best of Yonggyeol City's mid-tier schools can withstand you for 3 moves. Surely, you're a top master even among those at the peak. Kia River Sect's Elders Council will face you. The gong for the start of the match sounded. Mun Yi-aek, Kia River Sect's sect leader, was a renowned peak master in the city. Even the top masters from 11 mid-tier sects who were quickly defeated by Kim Young Hoon were considered inferior to Mun Yi-aek. I watched the duel between the 2 masters, curious about the outcome. Swish! Kim Young Hoon drew his saber. Mun Yi-ik also unsheathed his flexible sword. Attack! Kim Young-hoon charged first, straight at the sect leader. As Mun Yi-ik swung his flexible sword, it seemed to encircle Kim Young-hoon from all sides. Wham! But then, Kim Young-hoon's body split into 7 shadows, each darting towards the weakest points of Mun Yi-ik's sword barrier. Determined not to let the shadows escape, sect leader Mun Yi-ik chased after the illusions with his soft sword, like a snake pursuing its prey. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. His soft sword split into thousands of strands, seemingly slicing through the illusions. However, not one of the illusions was the real body, and in the enclosure created by the soft sword, the shadows of Kim Young-hoon vanished completely. Then it happened. Whoosh! From the sky, director Kim Young-hoon leaped down, rotating in the air and charging towards the sect leader. Leaving 7 illusions below, his real body had leapt up into the air. Gasp! Swoosh! The blade of his saber touched the throat of Mun Yi-ik. Ding! It was a victory for director Kim Young-hoon. The move he used to win only took 2 seconds. Will the challenger continue the consecutive battles? The elder conducting the martial arts contest asked with a stern face. Director Kim Young-hoon, without even stepping down from the arena, nodded his head. The next opponent was a bald old man with a white beard. Enhart v Epsilon LBN, a universe of stories awaits. I am Ikchian Bei, a Grand Elder of Kia River Sect, currently a member of the Elders Council. He introduced himself briefly and took his stance. Ding! The bell rang again, and this time, it was Elder Ikchian Bei who charged towards director Kim Young-hoon. Chatter! He too wielded a soft sword as his weapon. But, ding! He too could not last more than 10 seconds before having to kneel before director Kim Young-hoon. He lasted over 3 seconds. It was a testament to his immense strength that he managed to withstand director Kim Young-hoon, who had mastered the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, for over 3 seconds. Yet, director Kim Young-hoon looked slightly disappointed. Shall we continue the consecutive battles? The elder running. The contest now had a face resembling sour grapes. Let's continue. The final opponent in the series of 3 battles was an old man in plain martial clothes, with a long beard and white hair. I am Paljik Tae, the Supreme Elder of Kia River Sect, and the current head of the Elders Council. I see you've made it past the 3rd. Only then did director Kim Young-hoon's eyes light up with interest at the sight of the old man known as the Supreme Elder of Kia River Sect. A master of 3 flowers gather at the summit, This is the first time I've seen someone of this level in this city. It's rare for people to reach the 3rd. The vast majority live their lives only in red and blue. It's been a long time since I've met a master like you. How many other masters of 3 flowers have you met? Mostly 1 per major faction's Elders Council. There are 1 or 2 in the wilderness too. If you're curious, travel around the cities of Yanguo and visit the major factions. I hear you've been challenging the mid-level factions. Keep in mind that those little fish won't help you much at our level. I appreciate the advice, senior. 3rd, red and blue. I pondered over the hints dropped by the old man. Why is 3 flowers referred to as the 3rd? What are red and blue? Looking around, the other disciples and elders of Kia River Sect seemed just as puzzled by the situation, staring blankly at the arena. But the sect leader and elders who had been defeated by Kim Young-hoon and stepped down from the arena looked on in astonishment. It seems impossible to understand unless one is a peak master. Then it happened. Gasping for breath, Paljik Tae suddenly exclaimed, sweating profusely. What kind of martial art have you mastered? This martial art is called Record of Transcending Cultivation and Exhausting Martial Arts. Record of Transcending Cultivation and Exhausting Martial Arts. I've never seen such a monstrous martial art in my life. Is it really meant for fighting humans? Quote. What's going on? There was no clash, was there? Director Kim Young-hoon smiled wryly and said, I will let you take the lead. I am envious. To be able to learn such a terrifying martial art that can overturn Kia River Sect's 300 years of history in one go. Finishing his words, Paljik-te adjusted his stance. Whoosh! Paljik-te swung his soft sword, launching an attack. The soft sword whistled through the air, surrounding Director Kim Young-hoon on all sides. It appeared to be the same technique used by Mun Yeok at first. However, Director Kim Young-hoon didn't create illusions this time. Instead, he focused on the only open space, the sky above, and leaped into the air with his saber. Swoosh! Just then, the tip of Paljik-te's soft sword shot towards the sky like an arrow. Whoosh! Clang! Director Kim Young-hoon twisted his body in midair, deflecting the tip of the soft sword and escaping its enclosure. The next moment, he charged at Paljik-te like a bolt of lightning, swinging his saber. Boom! A massive explosion split the ground of the martial arts field. Their weapons collided in midair, sparking flames. For a moment, I lost sight of both of them. Bang! 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 With explosive sounds, Director Kim Young-hoon's figure briefly appeared. It seemed like he was thrusting his saber, but Paljik-te, almost imperceptible to the eye, dodged all the thrusts and exchanged blows with Kim Young-hoon. Boom! Paljik-te's soft sword explosion blew up a corner of the martial arts field. Clang! Director Kim Young-hoon's flurry of saber energy shattered the bell beside the arena. The elder judging the contest gasped in horror and rolled away to dodge the energy. Boom! Director Kim Young-hoon stepped forward 3 times, charging at Paljik-te. In those 3 steps, his stance seemed to change over 10 times. But the transitions were so fast it was hard to follow with the eyes. It felt more like a video screen stuttering. Damn, Peak Masters are indeed monsters. It was the same in my past life. As a close aide to the Woolen Alliance leader, I had the opportunity to see Peak Masters fight a few times. I couldn't understand a thing back then, either. Fortunately, having seen many fights then, I could at least follow with my eyes now. But other disciples, instructors, and guardians of Kia River Sect who seemed to be at a similar level to me were simply staring blankly at the arena, their eyes glazed. None of them could follow the movements of the 2 masters. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Paljik-te's soft sword cut through the air, undergoing 3 changes in the sky. Yet, curiously, with every shift he made, Paljik-te's body sustained slashes, and marks from the saber emerged. With each of his 3 changes packed into one technique, Director Kim Young-hoon struck 3 times. And finally, swoosh, clang, Director Kim Young-hoon's saber cut through Paljik-te's soft sword. The soft sword fell outside the arena, severed. Swoosh, Director Kim Young-hoon's saber touched Paljik-te's neck, who sighed in defeat. I accept my defeat. I'll remove the signboard of Kia River Sect. Our faction will close its doors for 3 years. I have witnessed that no martial art in Yonghyeol City can match that of Kia River Sect. It was a duel from which I too learned much. The 2 martial artists respectfully bowed to each other and stepped down from the arena. Let's go back, Seo Yoon-hyun. Have you grasped how far your skills extend? It's not my skill. Director Kim Young-hoon's expression seemed somewhat gloomy. Record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. I merely adopted the forms of this martial art as instructed. I haven't fully mastered this martial art, haven't gained freedom within it, nor grasped the intent. Quote. This martial art, whoever created it, I don't know. But I haven't surpassed the intentions of its creator. The deeper I delve into and execute this martial art, the more I feel how much of a novice I am compared to its creator. I was at a loss for words, watching him be self-critical and gloomy about his own martial art. Today's battle showed me how insignificant my skills are. As the senior advised, I will travel to various cities and seek out peak masters for duels. Will you join me? Of course. I had already decided to dedicate this life solely to the martial path. I will follow you, Hyung Nim, in my quest to become a peak master. Haha, I look forward to it. But young Nim, you say. I'm a bit embarrassed. There's not much age difference between us. Ha ha. Isn't it better for people from the same hometown to address each other as brothers? In this life, I will surely become a peak master. Finished. A Regressor's Tale of Cultivation. Chapter 8, Heaven Sent Talent 2. Next, Chapter 9, Heaven Sent Talent 3. Please consider subscribing. My goal is to reach 1K subs and get monetized so I can afford a better voice.